Hi all, and welcome to the third part of my MS diary. I'm back today. It's Friday the 9th, but actually I'm recording this at 1:30 in the morning on the 10th of March, and I've just spent 3 days in hospital on my back on a bed, and although I'd said that perhaps I would be able to do a diary from the hospital, because I saw on the wall that there was a notice giving unlimited high bandwidth internet access. It's just not in the building that I'm in the hospital, so there was no chance of being able to do it. So wait until today, in my day. So the 3 days in the hospital basically involved a 3 days salt and sugar free diet. The salt is because it reacts badly with the hydrocortisone, and the sugar is because your body is going through ups and downs, and if there's any latent diabetes in your system, having sugar in your diet can actually provoke it to come to the front. So didn't want to do that. So I had my daily injection of stuff in my arm, right there. As you can possibly see, there's like a hole and a dent and stuff. And it was the gram of gubbins I said before. The effects of it were that it left me sleepy in the afternoons and unable to sleep at night time properly. But part of that was also because I had that great big cannula thing stuck in my arm, and I was worried constantly about dragging it against something and pulling it out. Not that it would ever come out. It was stuck down so well. And it also gave me a really strong appetite late at night. The first night was pretty poor for that reason, and then the second night, phone had very kindly brought me over a big, a pot of rice that I could just sneak some out of at night time and eat. Japanese rice, yum. Doesn't need anything else. Can be cold. Is really good. And my spirits were kept up by my roommate again, Tony Anatole Fawcett, his name is, and he's had MS for 11 years or so, and still seems to be in fine fettle health generally. He's also got the progressive, and he will decline, I'm sure, but right now he was a good companion, and his experience, his 10 years of coming to the hospital to get his 6 monthly treatments, have left him with an encyclopedic knowledge of the wheres and wherefores of doing things in the hospital, which was very beneficial. Now the 3 days I was in the hospital, I had visits from Fiona and Finn in the afternoons or early evenings, and Fiona came and picked me up from the hospital today, and that was lovely. That was absolutely fantastic, and we got to play games of frustration with Finn and I sitting on my bed and Fiona sitting on the chair next to the bed with the frustration game on the table in between us all, so we could play it, which was great fun. What else? Oh yeah, so on the diagnosis front, the doctor that had kind of brought me in last week for my lumbar puncture told me to start off with on the Wednesday when I first went in that it was quite likely that my MS was progressive, and it would never get any better than it is now, and it would get worse, but that there were about as many types of MS as there are people who've got it, so there's no way that in this short space of time they could give me an idea of how it was going to progress. Even the tests for my lumbar puncture last week and all the bloods that they took aren't going to be ready for a month, basically. So they're not even going to be able to do a preliminary diagnosis until those are all back. And they're not going to be able to do a kind of a realistic diagnosis for a year or so, because they need to track my changes and all the rest of it, see how well I do over the course of the next year, basically. And then the following day, which was because that left me slightly depressed, obviously. The following day, she came back in, and having gone through the history that I've given them, she said that perhaps it wasn't a progressive form of the disease, but that it was actually relapsing remitting, because back when I was in my early 20s, when I used to live in Slough, I had a case of a pinched nerve down my left-hand side of my body, and I had to go in for an MRI for that, and she thinks that might have been the first sign of its approach. So it's possible that if you remember, Paul, when I had to go, it's possible that it might have been just a long remittance stage, and then I've relapsed. I don't know. The Grammar Gubbins has definitely had an effect. I'm a lot more nimble on my feet. I'm not saying I'm afraid to stare, but I don't have to stagger around quite as much as a drunk does. The pins and needles on my fingers haven't gone, but that's not so important. For future tracking, I'm going to need to be careful of extremes of heat and cold. So as I said to my roommate, that's it for Japanese baths for me or my North Polar exploration. But I still fully intend to get up to Tromsø in Norway to see the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis. It's one of my fondest wishes. I'm going to need to watch carefully riding my bike to work, and just keep track of my physical condition when I do it, and see how long I can do it for. Hopefully I'll be able to do it for as long as I need to. And the other nice bit of news was that flying to the States in summer to go to SIGGRAPH should be fine. I need to be careful being out on the streets of San Diego, which is obviously going to be bleeding hot. I think that's a technical term. But as long as I'm not outside too much, and as long as I protect myself from the sun a bit, I should be fine. Now, just before I go, because the time's about to run out, I just thought I'd put in something for my mini adoring fans. And here you go. Here's Socky!
Hello everybody! How are you? How are you? Andy's doing very well. Thank you. Bye!